Do anything for the cash. Do anything for the cash.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another video about management consulting and Big Four. Chances are if you're watching this, you've seen my why I quit my job video. As I speak, as I'm filming this, that video has gotten 6,000 views in 48 hours, which has never happened to any of my videos before. So thank you to everyone who watched that video. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should totally go watch that video. It talks about my experience working in management consulting at a Big Four firm, why I quit, and you'll just get to know a little bit more about my story and sort of some of the realities of working, you know, as a Big Four consultant. I think it also, a lot of those realities apply to audit. I've gotten a lot of comments from people and DMs from people who watch that video and are also auditors at Big Four firms, and they said they could relate as well. So today's video is going to be more expectations and realities of working as a management consultant, and similar to that other video, I think a lot of these can apply if you are in audit as well. This video is not meant to bash the consulting career. That video wasn't either. However, I do want to shine, you know, some light on some of the realities that nobody talks about. Like I mentioned in my last video, people are always very like roses, butterflies, you know, this consulting career is amazing. And for a lot of people it is, but for a lot of people it's also not. And we are sold a certain dream, we are sold a lifestyle, and we are sold a lot of expectations that I'm going to debunk in this video. So keep in mind, you know, it is not meant to bash, it's not meant to like hate on the career, but I just want to, you know, share some more truths with you guys. These expectations and realities come from my own experience, and they also come from the experience of some of my friends and colleagues who've also worked in that industry. So yes, let's get into it. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss another video from me, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. It helps other people find the video, supports my channel, and it makes me happy. So over the last few weeks, I've been getting a lot of emails from you guys, DMs, questions about how to get into consulting, you know, can I review your CV, stuff like that. And I love to help you guys. That's why I make videos like this. However, I can't help everybody to the in-depthness that I would like. I also have a full-time job, you know, I make YouTube videos. So I'm really excited to announce that I have decided to start one-on-one personalized consulting services for you guys to look over your CV, look over your Instagram. I'll look over your LinkedIn for you, and we can talk about career strategies for how to get into consulting, how to get out of consulting if that's what you want. Basically any kind of career services that you need. I'm so happy to help you guys with it. So super transparent, the price right now is going to be $25 US an hour, which is insanely low, you guys. People are out there charging way, way, way more. The reason I'm charging such a low rate is because it's very new to me. So as I get better, my rate will go up. But for now, I'm happy to help at that super low price, 25 US an hour. So if that interests you, please send me an email. I'm not a salesy person. I'm not a pushy person. So there's no like obligation or anything. I just want to offer my services to you in a way that I can go super in depth with you guys, help you out to a really deep level, personalized level, which I think is so, so important. So my email's on the screen. Shoot me an email if you're interested in that. Yeah, the prices will go up over time as I help more people, as I get better. So if you want to lock it in at a super low rate, email me, and otherwise enjoy the video. So I've written down a list of expectations versus reality. We love, you know, we love to just tell the truth about these kinds of things on this channel. Yeah, one of my values is that I would not lie to you guys. I don't want to discourage anybody, but I always want to tell the truth. So let's get into it. My favorite expectation versus reality is travel. So as a consultant, you are sold, you know, this image of traveling and like flying in planes, staying in hotels, traveling to go see the client, traveling to exotic locations. You know, you're going to go to New York City. Maybe you're going to go to Chicago, San Francisco. Hey, maybe you might even go overseas. You might go to Dubai. You're going to be in Toronto. You're going to be, maybe you're going to go to Singapore, right? You're sold like this vision of, you know, world travel, being, you know, very elite, being very jet set, and just like this glamorous life of always being on the go, being a consultant on the go, being in, you know, VIP airport lounges, and that is not quite the case. So especially for Big Four, a lot of the times when you're traveling to, you know, corporate locations for these companies. And a lot of the time these locations might be warehouses and they might be head offices that aren't in the most glamorous parts of the city or aren't even in the most glamorous cities as is. Personally, I had to travel to Canada, which is a suburb of Ottawa, Ontario, and that was just so boring. There was nothing glam about traveling to that location. We had to take the train, and we did get to take the train business class, which was pretty cool. But yeah, the hotel we stayed in was like in the middle of nowhere. Because I didn't have my car with me, or I don't have a car, but because I didn't have a car when it was dinner time, I had to order takeout or order from like room service, which just wasn't the best. So, you know, the idea of having like fancy meals out in the city just didn't happen. And for a lot of people, that's just not the case. You're eating takeout alone in your hotel room. Because they know you're traveling, you're expected to work longer because you're not at home. So what else could you be doing? You may as well work. And yeah, you're not always staying in like 5-star hotels. Sometimes the places that you're traveling to are so in the middle of nowhere that all there is like a lower level, very basic hotel. So yeah, that kind of glamorous vision of like jet set travel was just like popped for me. And I know for a lot of people that's the case too. When you work in an MBB firm, you do get a little bit more of a high-class travel experience because they just have higher budgets. It's no secret that the consulting budgets between, you know, working at McKinsey and working at a Big Four firm are like, the Big Four firm budget is smaller. So you're not staying at the Ritz all the time, if ever. And yeah, but even if you are in, you know, MBB, you might be staying at the Ritz, but you're not going out on the town in New York at night. You're in your hotel room working till like midnight. I do want to say one good thing about the travel though is you can rack up a lot of points, especially if you're using like a personal Amex or a personal Visa card. You do get a lot of travel points, so that's a good thing that you get out of that. Expectation number 2 is solving complex problems. You know, all these consulting companies, they sell us on this vision of you're gonna be solving complex and like intelligent questions, business, you know, business strategy, and like, you know, they're always told complex issues, interesting issues. You're solving important problems. That's what they tell us that we're gonna be doing on the day-to-day. And it's not always true. Another thing they tell us is that you're going to be doing exciting work. It's exciting work that you do when you're a consultant. Sometimes it is, okay? Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it is, but especially when you're a junior, if you are hired right out of school, you're not doing exciting work. You might be witnessing people doing exciting work, but your job as a junior consultant is to take notes and it's to format slides. So you get this vision of when you're signing up to be a consultant that you're going to be advising people, solving all those important issues. And the truth is that a lot of the times in meetings, you might be in a room with a lot of executives and that seems really cool, but you don't even get to speak. I thought at the beginning that I was really cool because I was in a room with the CEO of the company that we were consulting with. She did not know my name. She referred to me once as young lady. Can you imagine how embarrassed I felt to be referred to as young lady at my job? Yeah, so side note there, but yeah, you're told that you're going to be working on complex and ever-changing problems. A lot of the contracts that we get in Big Four are also extremely mundane. Yes, you get exciting ones, but some of them are what you call staff aug, which is like staff augmentation, which is where a company will hire consultants to go in and just do work as if they were an employee of the company. So you can be working really, really long hours on really boring and mundane tasks for another company, or you're working on boring and mundane tasks for your project and watching everyone else do really cool stuff, and you're just stuck there formatting slides till midnight. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, there is a lot of giving presentations that can be really cool, and I did have colleagues who did some really amazing stuff, like give presentations in front of executives, work on coming up with material for training, like training solutions, and all kinds of stuff like that. So you can get lucky and you can get staffed on really cool projects. However, as a junior consultant, and especially in Big Four, it's a lot of highs and lows of cool and exciting work and also less exciting work and less exciting projects. Okay, expectation number 3 is cocktail hours and lots of drinking. Now, yeah, you expect yourself to be like at a lot of fancy cocktail hours and fancy, you know, 5 cassettes as we call them in Montreal. And this is actually true. You do get invited to a lot of these cocktail hours, and that is really fun, and it is a really cool aspect of the job because you get this whole big socialization aspect. However, the downside to that and the reality is that a lot of people end up leaving these happy hours early to go home and work more. So you can't even have a few drinks and like really let loose and relax because you don't want to go home and be tipsy and have to keep working. There's been a lot of cocktail hours where I felt guilty for being there because I knew I'd have to go home afterwards and keep working. There's cocktail hours where I even just left early because I couldn't handle the stress of knowing that I had something due the next day and I just couldn't enjoy being where I was because of such high pressures of working that you don't even get to really relax and enjoy all the cocktail hours that are offered to you. Expectation number 4 is glam offices, dressing up for work, strutting your stuff into the downtown offices of those high rises, those beautiful glass buildings in whatever city you live in or whatever city you're working in. Now, the reality of this is that a lot of consulting and Big Four or even MBB, whoever, they have beautiful offices in all the cities that they operate in. My office in Montreal was stunning. It was downtown, big glass building, high up, views of the city. However, a lot of the time you are working from client site. And what does that mean? That means that you're working out of an office, oftentimes in the suburbs. I had peers, I got really lucky and I didn't have to do any projects like this, but I had colleagues and peers that had to go to offices like really, really far in the suburbs, and they would have to take the metro or they would have to take like carpool and stuff to get there. So they'd be waking up at like 6 a.m. just to get all the way out to the logistics office for some huge company in the middle of nowhere, only to sit there all day long, have to wait for a ride home from their colleagues because, you know, with the way the expensing works, not everyone can expense an Uber or not everyone can expense like gas, so they carpool. So you're essentially stuck in the middle of nowhere all day long while, yes, you have a beautiful, you know, home office to go to on Fridays, but during the week, you're stuck out at the client in the middle of nowhere. A lot of the times too, when you're at the client, you are in like windowless office rooms. Sometimes what happens, or actually a lot of times what happens, is when clients hire consultants, they want to see what they're paying for. They are paying a lot of money to have you there as a consultant, and they want to see you working. So they want you working from the office, from their office. Now, you could do this from home, you could do this work from your office, your nice office with a lot of windows, but no, the client wants you there in oftentimes a windowless boardroom, scrunched together with your colleagues, hunched over your laptop because you can't have your second monitor, you can't have, you know, your ergonomic chair and your laptop screen lifter and all that stuff. You don't have that at the client site, so you're in a really uncomfortable working environment. You know, you have to bring your own food, you're not near like downtown where you can go for lunch. It's not as comfortable and it's not as glam as you think. Okay, my last expectation versus reality for you guys is a glamorous consultant lifestyle, just overall. You're out here, you're making the big bucks, you are ready to spend, you are ready to go pop bottles at the club, right? Not quite. Now, while salaries are very good, you know, in consulting jobs, especially if you're working at like McKinsey, Bain, BCG, those salaries are huge. However, you do have the downside of working insanely long hours at those firms, guaranteed. Big Four salaries are very good. They are very, very good starting salaries. When I got my starting salary offer, I was through the moon, not gonna lie. I was so excited. I didn't think I'd make that kind of money outside of school. Very grateful for that. I'm not gonna disclose the amount, but you can look on Glassdoor for consultant salaries in your area to know what you'd be in for. However, I didn't get to enjoy that money because I was working so much and I was miserable. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be miserable at your job. However, a lot of the times you are going to be working really hard. And so a lot of that money that you're making isn't going to go to like, you know, buying things that you can enjoy, taking vacations, spending it on things that you're genuinely enjoying. A lot of it's going to go towards coffee to keep you going. It's going to go towards buying lunch out because you worked late the night before and you didn't have time to prep a lunch. It's going to go to just sustaining this busy, busy lifestyle that you're not really enjoying all the money that you're making. Personally, what happened to me was I was so miserable at my job that I was spending all of my money on going out for drinks just to like cover up my feelings. And I was also spending a ton of money on shopping for clothes to soothe like my insecurities and my worries. Now that's really deep, and I'm definitely opening up and sharing that with you guys. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to everyone. However, I do see a lot of my colleagues just spending money kind of frivolously. So you do get a really handsome salary. However, you spend it a lot on food. You spend it a lot on things that aren't going to make, you know, real impact in your life. And it can be hard to live that glamorous lifestyle when you're just so busy working. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching my expectations versus reality video. Remember that this video is not meant to discourage you. It is rather just to shed light on some of the realities. I think when we know what the realities are going into a job, we will be less discouraged because we won't be as crushed when we realize for ourselves that these realities simply aren't true. Now, as you guys know from my video, I had a horrible experience in consulting, but that doesn't mean that you will, and that doesn't mean that you should watch this video and say, well, that's it, I'm not applying to consulting anymore. Not at all. Everyone makes, a different experience for themselves. Some people are simply a better fit for companies like that. I wasn't a good fit for Big Four, and you might be a perfect fit. Remember that every experience that you have, one, you get in, you get out what you put in. So if you go there with a positive attitude, really ready to make the most of it, and you have a tough skin and you don't let anyone bother you, you don't let these realities bring you down, you will have a great experience, you'll get a great name on your CV, and I think you can have a really positive work experience. So that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you haven't seen my coding video, I think it can shine some more light on some of the realities of consulting. And a lot of you guys have been leaving really beautiful comments on that video, so I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you guys for all the new subscribers to my channel. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. You can also send me an email, or you can DM me on Instagram. I'm really happy to help you guys out. Happy to chat if you need to. And yes, I will talk to you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Do anything for the cash.